Uh-oh.
Does everybody know what time it is?
Home and podcast time.
That's right. Binford Tools is proud to present a home improvement podcast. My name is Adam, and you all know my co-host, Jordan. Hi, Jordan.
Adam, what's up, my man?
Hey, man. Why don't you talk a little bit more quietly and somber into that microphone?
Adam, are you there?
Oh, ASMR. I like it.
Well, I know you like that.
Somebody's doing something somewhere. Jordan, how are you?
I'm doing all right. What about yourself? My eye itches. You ever had that?
My eye itch? Yeah. Yep, I have.
Seems like a universal condition, huh?
Yeah, we're off to a good start here. Yeah, we're doing okay. I don't know how much
I liked your hat.
I want to get into it. Yeah, my hat's good. Just kind of a sad time for everybody. And you know, people listening will know kind of what we're talking about. But we're gonna plow through and talk about a really good episode of Home Improvement. So
Yeah, and before we do that, we're gonna learn something we all have been wondering about.
yeah,
What's Debbie Dunning been up to?
Yeah, I was gonna say you always ask me this, like offline, and I'm always like, I don't know, I have no idea. But I found an article.
I don't know. Stop asking.
On one of your favorite websites, NikkiSwift.com, and it's gonna answer that question, Jordan.
You know it's reputable. You know it's reputable if it comes from Nikki Swift.
Nikki Swift, one of my favorites. I'm just gonna read this article verbatim, Jordan. You can tell me what you think is interesting, okay?
All right, sounds good. It must be a short one.
No, I just don't have a lot to say today.
Okay.
Debbie Dunning won audiences over as Tim Allen's assistant, Heidi Keppert, a.k.a. the Tool Time. All right, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. The former Miss Burbank, California, told Fox News that she loved her time on the series. It's one of those shows where you go to work and couldn't wait to get there. That doesn't make sense. And when you leave, you're driving home laughing the whole time. Make your dinner, you go to bed, and you get excited to go back to work. Dunning has since carved... I don't know. That's not a feeling I've ever had. Dunning has since carved out time to focus on her family. She wed professional volleyball player Steve Timmons, and they had 3 kids, Spencer, Stoney, and Cisco. How would you spell Cisco, Jordan?
I don't know. Sisko.
Sysco. Perfect.
Yeah, so wrong.
All right. She's best known for Home Improvement, but that wasn't her last time in front of the camera. She also appeared in The Spiral Staircase, Now You Know, Wicked, and Wicked Games. She starred in Debbie Dunning's Dude Ranch Roundup, which premiered in November. On the Do you get the Cowboy Channel?
I do not. Is that? I wonder what kind of package you have to get the Cowboy Channel.
If you have to ask, you're not going to get it. You know, the thing about the Cowboy Channel and her Dude Ranch Roundup is it's not just riding horses. It's fly fishing. It's skeet shooting. Wow. Whitewater rafting. I mean, you name it.
It's more than meets the eye.
Yeah. She traveled from Colorado to Arizona to Montana to Tennessee to Wyoming in search of the top dude ranches in the country.
Wow. What a show. I mean, what's... I'm not going to say anything else.
Okay, and that's actually all.
I don't want to alienate people.
That's all there is. So that's the article. That was pretty good. Yeah.
That abruptly ended.
I know. I'm surprised. I was really shocked by that. I didn't know any of that, so it was good to share that with because she definitely hasn't been doing that for like 4 years.
Well, it showed up as like a top story.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
I guess when the content is so... It's amazing that our stuff doesn't pop up all the time, but I guess we don't write enough.
Yeah, we don't, really at all for our website. But, Jordan, that was not a great opening to the show. You know.
It's always good when you call it out, Adam.
Hey, people are listening. They can tell. It turns out after 160 some episodes, it's not always easy to come up with things. What else? I feel like we need to do better than that. So let's each come up with one interesting thing to say to start the show, and we'll kind of discuss it, and then we'll move on.
Oh, man.
I'll go first. Let's think here. Okay. So, been pretty cold in Orlando lately. I heard that iguanas are falling from trees. You want to comment on that?
Didn't you already mention that?
Not on the show.
Okay, it's just every single interaction we have, you talking about it. It's been chillier. Yesterday, was it yesterday? 2 days ago. We went to a barbecue that our church had, and they had a bounce house there. And I had to take my shoes off and my socks off to run through this bounce house. We did an adult race, guys versus girls. Can you guess who won?
You want me to say guys, but I'm going to say girls.
Nah, guys.
Oh, shoot, sexist.
And I'm just going to say it was all me.
Yeah, I bet you can still move pretty quickly, huh?
I can scamper. But we were all shocked at how cold our feet were on the grass. So it's cold out there, but it's not. I mean, I don't have to wear a hat inside like you, so it's not that bad.
I don't know that I have to wear a hat inside. I think I forgot I had it on. This is my inside beanie.
One for the inside, one for the outside. Yeah, it's been cold. I guess when I think of iguanas, I think of the very larger reptiles.
Yeah.
And around here, it's just the really small ones. So I have not seen very many of them fall from the trees. They're still around scampering. They like to hide under my grill cover, so they're around there still. I don't know. Maybe that's keeping them safe and warm.
Big house like yours, you probably got more than one grill.
I actually... I was going to say I have an iguana room where I just kind of let in all the loose iguanas.
And the funny thing is they stay in there because they respect the house.
They do, yeah. They always have. Oh, boy.
Jordan, you got anything you want to ask me?
I mean, does it have to be a question? I thought we were just going to be something we were talking about.
Anything you got. You have to say something now.
Well, I was just going to say, yesterday I was at the arcade bar, and we hit up 5 games, I want to say, or so in an hour. There was no one there on a Sunday at 3 o'clock, so that worked out pretty well. But we played NBA Jam. I feel like that's a classic staple. Everybody's got to play that. We also played NFL Blitz 2000.
They're kind of the same thing, I would equate
Similar.
them. Yeah.
Similar, but different. We played Mortal Kombat.
Okay.
I haven't played that in a long time. We played the Simpsons game. I don't know if you ever played that when you were younger.
No.
And Ninja Turtles as well. Ninja Turtles and Simpsons are basically the same. It's funny back in the 90s how it was just a thing where when you fight a boss in a video game, they just blink. They just get more blinky, and that's how you know they're almost dead.
Oh yeah, they're
there's no
they're dizzy sort of.
Yeah, there's no health bar or anything. They just blinked faster.
Who's the villain in the Simpsons game? Krusty the Clown.
There was a robot. Well, what was the first one? I'm trying to think. There was a lot of guys in suits, which was very confusing to me.
Okay.
Yeah. Throw
I think
hats
Simpsons are anti-establishment, so it's a little bit of a commentary.
Yeah, boy, was it. And Marge is walking around with a vacuum. Bart's got a skateboard. We didn't play as Lisa, but Homer doesn't have anything but his fisticuffs. So
you always reminded me a little bit of Bart with kind of your, I don't know, anti-establishment sort of bad boy. You always stuck your tongue out when you were younger.
I was always skateboarding all around.
Yeah, you said man a lot. I live really close to a video game bar just down the street, and we win a lot when we first moved. But I'm so bad at those games. It's just not fun.
What games are there that you played?
I mean, I've played a lot of them, and I was bad at every single one.
Oh my gosh!
I'm bad at pinball. I'm bad at Blitz. I'm bad at the basketball.
Really?
I'm bad at everything. Maybe I used to be okay at Tekken, but I don't think they have that there.
Oh yeah, it's just a bunch of button mashing at that point for me. But we played. I feel maybe we could team up on Blitz or NBA Jam or something. I'll teach you a thing.
I don't think you want me on your. I'm really. It's just. I'm really good at a lot of things, podcasting, coming up with opening banter, that sort of stuff.
But old arcade games, that's not your bag.
That's not my bag. And, I think we really salvaged the opening, Jordan, so good on us. And let's get into what I would call an episode.
As opposed to what other people might call it?
I'm just going to call it an episode. I'm not going to say whether it's good or bad because I want to keep people guessing.
And a mystery it will be. Episode 165, Tim the Landlord Taylor. Written by Eric Horsted. Last did the Thanksgiving episode where Rodney Dangerfield had a bunch of one-liners that we did enjoy.
Could you say his name again?
I will not.
I was reading my notes and I missed the opportunity to...
There's a reason I continued relatively quickly through that. This one aired February 3rd, 1998, and I don't think there's really any plot keywords or anything like that. But we do have alternative titles. Boy, do I have a really bad set of 4 here.
Yeah, 4 as well. None of them are good, nor are they that funny. But
But they're here, and we have to read them.
Let's do it. All right, you start.
All right, first one. Let's start with a whimper. By the book.
Yeah, I'm whimpering. Lee C on a leash.
Is that legal?
That's pretty good.
Oh, good.
I didn't get it at first. This is coming after a close shave gate.
We'll get the results on that next episode.
Yeah, not this week. Land lording over others.
It's a mouthful.
Yeah, and I don't know why I said others. Like it's just one person.
It's everybody. A Tale of Two Shirts.
Yeah, I said losing your shirt.
Good enough.
Yeah. That is. Are you familiar with that saying?
I don't know. You're the one who never hears any of my sayings because I'm from 1800.
Yeah, you wear a top hat and a monocle and you are only going to live to 51.
Oh, Adam, I don't want to forget this, but it's in the middle of our titles. I was thinking maybe if I can find this, instead of an episode of Seinfeld, we could do an episode of Kid Nation for Patreon.
Oh, I would so much rather talk about Kid Nation, but I don't know that people listen to those episodes much anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But man, if you could find a Kid Nation episode, I'd go nuts.
I'll see what I can find.
I'm salivating just thinking about it.
I thought about it a few days ago, and then it just completely went off my radar when we were talking about it. So I'm glad it came back to me right now.
All right. Whose turn is it? Mine or yours?
I think I got one more.
Okay.
Here we go. Don't jerky me around.
Tough week for you. Okay. My last one. A perfect 10.
Yeah, cross that one out. Turn the page.
Yeah, you hear me? The faster I cross it off, the faster I can stop thinking about it.
All right. Well, with that, we start in the episode.
Yeah, you know what? Let me start because my notes are bad. Are sparse. Losing it. All right, my notes are few and far between. Let me start. Tim the Land. This episode title sucks. It just tells you everything right off the bat.
Yeah, it's not great. But you know what?
Yeah.
Can we say that much when we just came up with 8 terrible alternative titles?
Hey, we're not showbiz. We're showbiz adjacent. So can we be expected to do much better?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess that's right. Maybe
saying we're showbiz adjacent is generous.
Very generous.
Okay, I'll start. All right. Brad comes home from work. We're getting a lot of talk about Brad's work again lately.
Yeah, they're turning up the level on Brad's plot line, so they got to start throwing that back in there.
Jill's working on the computer as she often is. Just a never-ending amount of homework, I guess. Brad seems...
I thought she graduated by now. I don't know.
It's taken her a while. Hey, only took me 2 years. You tell me. Who's smarter, me or Jill? I don't know. Some people are saying me.
Some people. A lot of people.
A lot of people have been saying I'm smarter than Jill. Brad seems okay post, calling off the engagement, if you can even call it an engagement.
There was no ring.
If you like it, then you should have put a ring on it.
They're still together, though.
Yeah, I was surprised to hear that, but I guess that's good. He bought a new shirt, and he's excited to show it off to his mom. He doesn't think she's going to ever have seen one like it. He takes it off. And how would you describe this shirt? I mean, it's really ugly.
It's like a brown, like a real poopy brown, and then it has like a bunch of like circles, white and red circles.
It kind of reminds me of I don't know if you've seen this movie. I'm guessing you haven't because it's something I really like and is quite popular. It's called The Shining. Have you seen it?
Probably like 10 years ago. So,
okay, the shirt reminded me of like the famous carpet in The Shining.
Okay.
I'd like you to look it up right now.
It does remind me of like the 70s-ish. That's what the shirt reminds me of.
I'd like you to look up the carpet and tell me if you agree.
All right, my goodness. Just so you know.
Yeah.
I did look up. There are Kid Nation episodes available.
Things are just getting better.
All right, Shining Carpet. Yeah, I could see that.
Pretty good, right? I mean,
yeah, it's a lot of pattern. That's what we get in the shirt.
All right, well, the shirt's ugly. That's a joke. Then Randy comes in, and I gotta tell you, I about spit my coffee out when I was watching this episode. Did a spit take because he's wearing the exact same shirt, Jordan.
Oh man,
it's like Spy versus Spy, the old comic strip. You know, he's wearing the same stuff.
Spy versus Spy. I can't believe they had that in all the different sizes.
I know.
I thought it would be sold out.
And I like the opening scene just kind of ends with them being like, whoop, because we got the same shirt on. It's like, man, some episodes really tell you some openings really tell you what the episode's going to be about, and some do this.
Well, and then after, like, they do a commercial break or whatever, and then they continue the scene.
That was weird. They don't do that very often.
No. It's usually a pretty cold open or just a short scene that
especially
sets things
since
up.
The scene that they were continuing sucked so bad already. Like, it seems like you'd want to cut and run.
Well, you know, you got to bookend the episode with some shirt scenes, so.
That's true. Well, Jordan, I'll let you continue talking about it.
All right. Well, Tim comes in. That's what changes the scene here. And Tim and Jill were looking at an investment house. First, we've heard of it, but they went to see. They talk about quite a few, so it seems like they've been looking for a while. They've got lots of addresses and all this kind of stuff of houses they've seen. And they want to go see a house right now because they think the sellers are ready to sell. They've dropped the price. So Randy's in charge of dinner. I didn't really get like why that's a joke or what.
Yeah, the audience really laughed at it. Like that was one of those times where it was like, did something happen off camera that I didn't see or something? Because it's just like, Randy, you're in charge of dinner, and people are really like laughing like it's a joke. But yeah, what was the joke?
Yeah, I don't know. Something was cut for time or something, like you said, happened that didn't air or whatever. I don't know. But Mark comes in, and he is just disgusted at his brothers.
Why isn't Mark's hair pink?
Ooh.
Yeah, what the heck?
Oh.
Stick with it.
Yikes.
At least one more week.
It wouldn't fade like that, I'll tell you that.
No, you would know. You've done something like this.
Every other week I go pink.
Faded glory, that's what I call Mark. Yeah, his hair should be pink still. I don't know.
Alright, that's an IMDb goof.
It bugged me.
It's bugging me right now. I don't think I can continue with the episode.
I don't want to. Let's stop.
Alright, cool.
Tim and Jill are kind of the proto fixer-upper couple here. You know, before Chip and Joanna Gaines, there was Tim and Jill Taylor. You know? Right, babe?
Hey, babe. Yeah.
Hey, babe, it's me, Dennis Miller.
This is the, whoever wrote that they're rich. I guess this is another feather in their cap, right?
Yeah, you know, as the show goes on, I think maybe that person calling, what was the exact thing that they said that we quibbled with way back when? Were they upper middle class?
I don't remember.
Okay, because at this point in the show, if someone said they were upper middle class, I guess I would have to agree.
Right.
Because of this and the fact that they've now purchased like 5 cars to fix and update and stuff. So yeah. Okay. Yeah, they're fixing it up, man. Okay, I'm gonna plant something now because I think there's a little bit of a plot hole later.
Plant it.
Okay, so Jill in this scene is like, what street is that on the corner of? Is that on the corner of blank and blank? Like, she acts like she doesn't know. Do you remember that?
She acts like she doesn't know.
Like where it's located or what the intersection is. She's like speculating. She's like, is it at the corner of blank or what are those streets? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'm planting the seed. Okay.
All right. Well, that one's going to take a while to grow, so I guess we should continue.
No, I have something to say later about it.
All right.
Just listen.
You want to go to Tool Time?
Yeah, Tool Time on location. Tim is doing what he likes to do on the show, where he's taking a kind of a personal thing and working into the show. Al calls him out on it. We are on location at the rental property, and Tim's getting work done for free. Al says something. A lot of kind of shameless publicity for the rental. There's signs sort of everywhere. He has one where it's like free utilities first month or something. It seemed like a good deal. Tim and Al are really bickering a lot in this episode and in this scene specifically.
It's really setting up the rest of the episode.
Yeah, they just have different ideas of what should be done in this place. Like Tim, I remember there's something about the doorknobs where Al wants to keep the classic ones.
There's like some vintage and some, I don't know, I guess character to this place that Al really likes, and Tim, he's trying to think about the tenants who might just want something that's new and updated and fresh, and they continue to explore the space here, and as you said, they're spatting the whole time, and they do find something that they both love. They cut the carpet, and there's some beautiful wood underneath.
Yeah, but Heidi wanted to put in new carpet. Did you catch that?
I think she was just reading lines.
Okay, fair. No, Debbie Dunning loves carpet. I've heard her say that. It was in that article I just read.
It's very soft. You know, if you have kids, carpet's the best. So
Jill enters around this time. And she doesn't even have her makeup on. Ooh.
I don't know if this is the first time that we've seen her in Tool Time or not.
I feel like she's around when they're doing the bathroom stuff.
I think it's like the same thing too. Like she doesn't have her makeup on.
Yeah. Al says they're still going live at the end of the scene, and Al says something about, hey, Tim's talking about making it nice for a tenant. Al says, hey, I'll take it. And the Tool Time kind of ends, but the scene keeps going, and Tim is kind of daftly is like, hey, don't say that because it'll scare away potential renters. This episode sucks, and there's so many bad lines and stupid leaps of like just things don't really add up.
Yeah, I don't really understand Tim's logic there. Like, wouldn't that make other people
that would
interested?
drive up? That's kind of but Al says, hey, you know what? I really do want to live here. And this is where I'm gonna harvest my plot hole from earlier. I don't know. Because he says it's right around the corner from your house. I could be local. So you're telling me Jill doesn't know the street names right around the corner from her own house? Excuse me.
To be fair, Jill is always using GPS.
I don't know, Jordan. I think I busted him in one there.
Well,
It feels good.
Take it up with Mr. Horsehead.
I'm talking to I'm writing a letter to Carmen Finestra as we speak.
You're not gonna like the feedback.
You're like, actually, your letter is wrong.
You forgot a comma here.
Jill wouldn't do that. I don't know. I thought that was just funny. It is sort of a hole.
It is a hole.
More sign gags. Al's gonna rent the house.
Jill likes the idea. Yeah,
she does. I don't like. This is the fastest.
Why wouldn't Tim like this idea? I don't get it.
This is one of those episodes where it's like, let's have a character act completely out of the norm just for the plot. Because like Tim is doing things in this episode that he would not normally do, or at least we've never seen him do. And we watched 160 episodes, so that's like 50 hours of Home Improvement. I've never seen him do anything like this before. So
it's pretty rough. You don't want to make characters just completely act plot driven. That's not great.
That's season 7 for you. But yeah, all right. Next scene. I'm getting so mad I can't even talk anymore. Yeah.
That's all right. I'll take this scene then. Right. Back at home, Brad is going to the movies with Samantha. So like we said, they're still together. But I remember now. Okay, it's been a while since I watched this one. Jill says, "Take Randy and Lauren with you." Because they're going to go to the movies as well. They both argue over the shirt, though, because they both still are wearing the shirt. They want to wear the shirt for their girlfriends, and apparently it's their girlfriend's favorite. Figure that out. I don't know why that would be. Jill steps in before there's some fisticuffs, and they do a coin flip, and Randy wins the toss. How about that? Yeah. There's, like, some jokes here between Mark and Jill where, like, Jill is borrowing the coin from Mark, and Mark wants the coin back.
It's funny. Mark is like, Mom, are you forgetting something? It's like, Mark, it's a quarter. Good Lord. How poor are you?
He's very stingy.
That hair dye costs money, Mom. All right, so give me my quarter back.
Tim comes in and he has an extensive agreement for Al to sign to lease the place. He's got like 18 pages asking for references. Tim's going overboard. Shocker.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know. I mean,
That's it.
yeah, I remember signing leases. They're not particularly short, but 18 pages seems pretty long. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I continue to seemingly rent, so I've signed a fair amount of leases. I would say the funny thing is, like, you could pretty easily have like a 10-page lease. I feel like, but it'd be probably if they wanted to amp it up, they probably should have done like 60 pages. That would have been a little more. Yeah,
it needs to be a much bigger number.
Yeah, like 18 isn't that crazy. But yeah, I don't know. Whatever. All right, next scene. Al's unpacking. It was a really fast reno, I gotta say. Like, they really renovated it quickly, you know?
Well, the crazy thing about those hardwoods is they were perfectly fine. They just had carpet over them.
Wow. Isn't that funny how that always works out in shows?
It certainly does. So they didn't have to do anything but rip up the carpet, which is relatively easy. I don't know what else they fixed.
Yeah. As far as I can tell, it was only one episode of Tool Time, and like most of it was just like Tim doing those sign gags and Al and Tim kind of bickering. So it doesn't seem like much got done. Al is, he's not happy with the new lease, but
he's happy to be out of the apartment, though.
But yeah, that apartment was pretty depressing. We spent a lot more time in that apartment than I remembered watching the show as a child.
Yeah, and this house looks nice.
Yeah. It does look nice. It's got the...
It's like you never thought about it.
I never thought of it like that. You know what? It wasn't too bad. It was all like wood paneling and stuff, which reminds me of my childhood bedroom. So yeah, of course I'm going to like it. But, I guess
I'll tell you one thing that you would have done a lot of.
What's that?
Popping out through those wooden shutters.
Oh, man. I was going to... What do you call those? I wanted to call it like French shutters because it's like a French door, right?
I don't know if they have a specific name. I can't imagine there's many of those in houses.
It's like I'm assuming that opens up into the kitchen and that's like a bar.
Correct.
Area. You're saying correct as if you know for sure.
I've been there.
Shit. I saw you in the back of the reno working on something.
Every episode when they do a new scene location, I make a mental map of how everything would go.
Do you like that I call it reno?
Well, you're in the biz.
In the biz. All right. Al has a cool terrible. Give me a second. Okay. Al has a cool Tool Time sweatshirt in this scene.
Yeah, we've never seen really anything like it, honestly.
You see the hats, but the sweatshirts, liked it.
He's got a little rip in it.
I think the only joke in this episode that I liked was there's a no gravy in the bedroom clause.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's a good line. More of that. And this is kind of where the real problem starts, Jordan, is, Al's moving in and Tim's got this lengthy lease and Al has some repairs that need done, and Tim, as the landlord, needs to, he's in charge of those repairs. The tenant, all they have to do is pay rent and kind of live there and, generally do some upkeep. But it's on Tim, and Tim doesn't really want to. He wants Al to do it because he knows he's capable, and I won't say hilarity ensues, but the remainder of the episode ensues.
It's definitely not hilarity. Yeah, and I think, the episode makes a point to be like, if Tim would have treated Al better as a friend, all these sorts of things, then, Al would have done the things that he can do well and not really been this annoying to Tim. But if Tim wants to go by the book, which is how he wants to do it, and make everything very difficult, then Al's going to make everything difficult back. So...
Eye for an eye makes the world go blind, Jordan. And that's what happens in this episode.
Yeah. Frankly, I wish it... Well,
we're all... No, you don't. Don't say that.
No. Frankly, so does this scene continue? Like, because they start doing...
I have, 4 laters in my notes. It's like later. Just...
So it kind of transitioned to, the first repair, right?
Yeah.
So Tim... basically Al says, if you don't fix this, then I guess it comes out of my rent because he's going to fix it and pay for it.
$200 an hour. Is that Al's going rate?
No, I mean, why do you live in that apartment?
Yeah, if that's your going rate, then you should just go full-time handyman. Don't worry about the tool time stuff because, you don't need to rent.
I would agree. Al starts watching every move that Tim makes as he's making these renovations.
Every move Tim makes, every snap, I'm missing you.
All right, later Tim is making repairs in the kitchen.
Yes.
Al's making suggestions, and Tim
Al refuses to help him reach that thing.
He's mostly just like lounging,
I think, there's one thing to make, holding Tim accountable is one thing because Tim was being a jerk, but Tim's reaching from the outside window and Al won't even help him get the thing. I mean, that's just a step too far.
Well, I think you gotta go
even
all
for
or nothing
me, that's
here.
too far.
You gotta go all or nothing.
Oof, all right.
Tim will not understand unless you really make him feel the pain.
Okay, yeah, all right. Well, hey, later, keep going.
Well, I mean, Tim
fixes the doorknob.
Well, he does. First, I was talking about how Tim shuts the shutters on him.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ouch.
It's getting extra chilly in this new rental. I don't know what to call it.
It looks like a drafty place.
It does look a little. I mean, it's older,
Yeah.
Okay, so Tim, you were just talking about how he can't reach the stuff outside.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, he goes and works on the knob. Al is just like eating. I don't know if he was eating a sandwich or what he was doing, but he's just feasting over Tim's shoulder.
Yeah.
He's sort of feasting on Tim right now as well.
Savage.
In a very metaphorical sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They threaten each other. Eviction versus lawsuit. Things really amp up here. It's escalated, and I think we all can believe it. It's going to go all the way to court. I think they say to the Supreme Court at some point, which is like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, ironclad lease. I don't know. Yeah, yeah. Next scene, home. I can barely muster up the enthusiasm to talk about this one. It'd be funny. Do you think that? Okay, so a lot of people watched Home Improvement when it was on originally. A lot of people have seen it since then. It's a show that a lot of people have watched. Do you think this is anyone's favorite episode?
No, not in the whole world.
Like, oh, I love the one where Tim is Al's landlord.
Some lawyer somewhere, huh?
Maybe, I don't know. I guess any episode can be somebody's favorite, but this one's really hard for me to imagine. Even with Future Shock, like someone could be like, "Oh, well, I like the old age makeup, and I think old people humor is really good." Like that would make more sense. Like, what's the appeal here?
I definitely don't remember this one at all.
Yeah.
There's so many that I do remember, but maybe this one they just didn't play on syndication.
They've never played it again. It's the lost. It's like the episode of Seinfeld where Kramer burns the Puerto Rican flag during the parade that they never show.
Where are we at in this episode now?
All right. Tim and Jill. Tim's home. Tim and Jill talk about the situation. Jill's telling Tim that he's taking things too far. It's, what did you think about running fingerprints on Al? And then he actually did. I don't know if the joke is now or if it was earlier where Al bounced a check at Cheese World for $8.
Oh, we're going to get a lot of that in this episode, though.
Yeah, it comes and it keeps coming.
So much Cheese World.
Yeah, it's not very Gouda, I'll tell you that much. Tim doesn't want to fix it. He's, too proud, I guess. He doesn't really feel that bad either, though, but we're running out of time in this episode, so somebody needs to fix it. So Jill's going to go over there and take care of things.
Yeah, and she makes a point. Jill makes a point to Tim and says, like, you're not thinking at all about, like, work. You have to work with this guy every day, your friendship, which is, I think it's kind of funny. They call each other, like, best friends and stuff. We haven't seen him
Never
for,
feels that way.
But yeah, Jill's gonna go out and fix it. So
Yeah.
Tim goes outside to see Wilson,
Yeah.
and we go outside to listen to a clip.
Let's do a clip, Jordan.
Wilson, if you need firewood, I got plenty here. Don't have to chop down your house.
No, Tim. I'm just knocking down some icicles. It's one of my favorite things, right up there with spreading steer manure on a hot summer's day.
I'd rather spread steer manure than be Al's landlord.
Really? I would have thought Al would have been the perfect tenant. That's why I gave him such an enthusiastic reference. Maybe I went a little bit overboard.
You're the only one that quoted Shakespeare in a rental application.
So you're saying objectively that the person at fault is the lessee as opposed to the lessor?
More or less.
Well, so what happened?
We're just disagreeing over the lease. So I'm gonna have to evict him.
Well, Tim, I'm shocked that you would evict your best friend, and I'm even more shocked that you would make him sign a lease.
Well, I'm new with the landlord thing, Wilson. I'm just trying to do everything in a business-like manner.
Well, no, Tim, let me ask you something. If I was renting from you, would you make me sign a lease?
Well, yeah. Probably let you skip the fingerprinting and the blood samples.
Tim, a landlord doesn't have to do that.
Well, they don't have to do that, but, when I do something new, I like to go at it full strength.
Right, like the time you brought home the new riding mower.
You got it. I didn't have to put 120 horsepower in that thing, but I did because nothing I like better than adding...
More power. Tim, there's a big difference between powering up a lawnmower and lording it over your best friend. Henry Adams, the historian, said, a friend in power is a friend lost.
I might have got a bit crazy on that 21 clauses and that thorough investigation.
Well, what did you gain from that?
Well, I lost my first tenant, my best friend. I've got a huge photocopy bill. But they carved a head of me up there at Cheese World. They said it right down there.
Well, Tim goes outside. He hears a bunch of noise. Well, Wilson's using a battle axe, the old battle axe, to knock down some icicles.
Some very fake-looking icicles.
They're all uniform, which is interesting.
It's weird that they were all the exact same length.
Tim shares what's going on in his life as he usually does. Wilson gave Al a great reference. So one of the references, he even quoted Shakespeare, which is just right up Wilson's alley.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Wilson is shocked at Tim's behavior. No one else should be, but Wilson is for some reason. And he says, would you make me sign a lease like that? And I guess that's what makes Tim come to his senses a little bit. And he says, I like to go in, when I'm doing something new, I like to go all in. Do you remember that lawnmower episode back from episode 2?
I like it when they reference things that we've seen.
Yes, so that was good. Tim comes to his senses, and Tim's excuse here for going all in is a bunch of garbage.
It's such bullcrap. It's probably the worst. Yeah, it's
so flimsy. It's crazy.
Yeah, you know me. When I do something, I go full hog, and it's just okay. That's why you were an asshole to your friend like that. Oh, because you go all in on something. It's very, very flimsy. You are correct. Jill visits Al with a housewarming gift. It's, I believe it's a potted plant.
That's correct.
If I'm not mistaken. My eyes do not deceive me. It is a potted plant. Al's mad, and he sunk to Tim's level, and come to find out, Al, really to get Tim's goat, was breaking things on purpose and making Tim fix them. Well, Jill comes clean and tells a couple stories about how she did the same thing before.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know. Sure. Okay. Tim shows... This is going to be a short episode. Wow. Tim shows up. And he rips up the lease.
Whoa.
I could not believe he ripped up the lease like that.
I can't believe you went through that whole that scene that quickly.
Was there more?
It's pretty incredible. No wonder it's gonna be so quick. You just say one sentence per scene.
I ran out of space in my sheet of paper. I didn't want to do another one.
Adam, if you need more money, I'm always.
I do. I keep telling you.
All right. Well, one thing I thought that was interesting at the start of the scene, Al is sitting there poring over law books, which makes me think was he gonna go into small claims court or whatever and represent himself? And
that's a good episode.
I like to see him doing his own defense, and
a
then
Judge
there's a
Judy
judge
kind of thing. Yeah, that'd be funny.
Yeah, they didn't do that though.
Well, it'd probably be more let's be real. This isn't a Judge Judy case. This is more like a Judge Alex case. You know Judge Alex.
Yeah, unfortunately I do.
You'd know if you saw him. Brand recognition, at least, Yeah.
At the very least. The funny thing is there's 4 of those different shows.
Yeah.
There's Judge Judy, Judge Alex. There's another...
Judge Joe Brown.
Judge Joe Brown. Isn't there another woman?
Gotta be another woman.
It's crazy.
The
crazy
last slot is kind of rotating. If you're doing your Mount Rushmore of judges, you got JJB, obviously Judge Judy, Judge Alex is the third, and then the fourth spot is just ever changing.
You never can get one in there, which makes me just think like.
Well, actually, you know who it often is? It's New York Yankees outfielder Aaron Judge.
But he's very new on the scene.
Yeah, and he's not really even a judge, so it's kind of controversial. But he's a good player. So
on the Rushmore, like sculpting, they're all kind of looking with a
like,
side eye.
what the heck? This guy doesn't even have a gavel.
And he's just happy to be here.
I have a joke. I want to pitch a joke to you that should have been in this episode.
All right. Well, I'm already going to tell you it's more funny than what's in the episode.
Okay, I think it's a pretty good joke. I just thought of this. Tim goes to rip up the lease, but it's too many pages, and he can't rip it up, so he has to struggle. Why wasn't that in here?
Yeah.
It's funny.
Wow. He should have brought the battle axe.
Yeah, sure, why not? Double down. Yeah, bring the battle axe. Bring Wilson.
Well, Mr. Horsehead was a little busy this
Not
week.
your best effort, Mr. Horsehead. Not your best. Next time, let it stay up on that horse head a little longer.
Well, so you really rushed through that scene. The other thing I wanted to mention
Yeah.
is that much like they usually do, like Tim just wants to rip up the lease and get out of there. Al wants to get to the root of their relationship, and yeah. And actually, Tim doesn't rip up the lease. Instead, he rips up the life insurance policy of Al.
Yeah, how big of a deal was that? I guess a big deal.
I mean, nowadays, not at all.
Yeah.
I think even back then, I bet you the life insurance company has a
Copy somewhere
on file.
You're trying to tell me no one's ever lost a life insurance policy
Seems
before?
likely.
I don't know. Okay. This final scene's okay though. I guess in the context of the episode, it's a great.
You know
scene.
what's funny, Adam? Think about it this way.
What's that?
The start of the episode, we were like, "This is a terrible way to start an episode," and
you're
now
right.
at the end, at the end,
You're selling me on this shirt stuff because it was actually the best part of the episode, and I didn't even know it until the end. All right, final scene. Brad comes in and he's like, "Hey, I gotta show you this shirt I got. There's no way anybody's gonna have this one. It's crazy." And he takes it off, and it's worse than the other shirt for sure.
It's awful.
It's like a clown kind of shirt.
A Caribbean clown shirt.
Caribbean clown. I like that style. That's kind of isn't that the cruise line you went on?
Caribbean clown.
Yeah. Okay, so he's like, Randy's like, "No, I don't have that shirt. It's too ugly for me." Al walks in. He's there for dinner because they've not kissed, but they've made up. And he takes off his jacket, and he's wearing the same shirt as Brad.
Oh, he loves it.
Roll credits, fade to black. Tim the Landlord Taylor, a.k.a.
That's it. That's it.
All right. Castle's Corner. I'm going in reverse down Castle's Corner. I hope I don't get hit.
Frankly, I just want to not go down the road right now. Let's just leave the car in the garage. We don't even talk about it.
Okay, we have to though. Jordan, I'll go first. How about that?
Oh, so generous.
I did not like this episode.
What? That's a shocker.
My disdain was not evident in every line. It's so funny how, I don't know, the episode to episode, my feelings towards Home Improvement are just they're just so disparate. I just listened to our episode just before we recorded on the Brad getting married one, and we were just had a good time. We were talking so positively, and then the very next week, I watch this episode and I just think is this the worst show I've ever seen? I hate this. And that's how I felt. I don't hate Home Improvement, but I hated this episode. We talk about this a lot, but I don't have any room for these episodes wherein characters are just acting not like themselves and just doing foolish things willy-nilly for the sake of the plot. And this is very much one of those episodes where Tim is just a jerk, and this is not like the Tim we usually see, and he's not thinking about his friend, and everything's just jokey, and it's just really stupid and dumb. And the explanation at the fence, Tim's aha moment is I like to go at things with a lot of zest, and it's just it's bull. It's just baloney. It's just so weak. Al is annoying in this one. It's just too. I don't like to watch people fight. I guess I say that a lot, but I don't like watching characters bicker, and that's all this one was. The shirt stuff, which I thought was going to be terrible, ended up, like you said, being one of the better parts of the episode. It's not even that good. This was a tough one to get through, even at 21 minutes and some change. Did not like this episode. At this moment, it feels like one of my least favorites of all time. It might be recency bias, but I did not like this episode.
Yeah. Well,
that's me crumpling up my notes.
I think I can get that. I don't really want to relitigate anything you just said, but
Okay.
I wanted to be excited because we get so few Al episodes, you know?
Yeah.
And this is an Al-centric one, and it's not great. Adam, how do we make this episode better? Besides your
Well,
ripping
the phone book rip-up kind of gag would have been good. How do you fix this episode? An interesting question. Much like we tried to fix Last Man Standing, and I think we did.
Did we? I don't even remember what happened there.
How do you fix this episode? Well, you gotta do more shirt stuff, I guess. It's the only thing that's working. So you definitely add another scene in the middle where, like, Brad and Randy, like, put on different shirts and they're wearing the same shirt again. Like, that would have probably helped.
What if you get the kids involved with the reno? Like, there's actually stuff to reno.
Yeah.
And you get the kids to come do it.
Okay.
I don't know where I'm
Keep
going
going.
with that, but
Keep going.
it seems like a seed of an idea.
Okay, let me pitch you on something. Okay. Imagine Mark, but he has 2 quarters. How does that change the episode?
It's kind of a butterfly effect moment, isn't it?
Does Tim even make an 18-page lease at that point? Or is it, like, regular? I don't...
How about this?
Okay.
Brad wants to rent the house instead with his new girlfriend, Samantha.
Much better. I mean, obviously, much better. Yeah, of course. How about this? Brad wants to rent... Okay, this is good. I think this is good. Brad wants to rent it for him and his girlfriend. Al also wants to rent it, and they both have to suck up to Tim and be really nice.
Oh.
And they're, like, giving him cupcakes, and, like, Brad's like, I don't know, giving him a back massage or something. I don't know, whatever Tim wants.
I guess the problem is, like, they really would not want Brad to live there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have to find a way to want them. Maybe it's like they want Mark to live there because he's gotten so weird. So it's between Mark and Al.
Mark gets emancipated. He has a quarter to his name.
But I've got 2 quarters.
The inside of the walls of the house are just, like, spray painted different things. I mean, I think any one of those things would
There's
fix
some
the
ideas
episode.
there. There's some ideas that we could
that's
work through.
Not terrible, any of those. You know, we're getting shockingly close to, like, Jonathan Taylor Thomas not being on the show anymore.
It's hard to believe.
It's gonna be it's like any one of these episodes, I feel like. Yikes.
Yeah.
I mean,
The show's going to change in a big way.
you know what's gonna happen. You know who they're gonna lean into more. They're gonna have to. Mark.
No. There can't be. What other stories can Mark tell?
I'm not saying there's gonna be more Mark stories, but Mark's gonna get more, like, lines because Randy's not gonna be there to take
I guess
them.
you can't give them all to Brad, huh?
They'd like to. They do. They basically do already. But
All right. Well,
wow.
I don't know that we could fix this episode, but we certainly gave it a try.
Yeah, it was doomed from the start. Shame on you, Horsehead. It's horse hockey, this episode.
All right. This is going to be a short social media section, but let's move on to it. If you want to reach out to us, go to thehomeandpodcast.com or on Facebook and Twitter at Home and Podcast. Patreon.com/homeandpodcast. We're going to do an episode of Kid Nation. I'm looking at YouTube, a few videos that come up. Just, there's obviously episode 1, I'm trying to be a leader here.
Mm-hmm. How long are those? Just so I can be
This
sure.
first one's 57 minutes.
Okay, do they get shorter?
I don't know. There's one that says Kid Nation episode 5, Viva la Revolution.
I don't know. Do you want to watch what's more representative of Kid Nation, the first episode or the 5th episode? Because 5th episode, it's kind of like this is the show. The first episode is sort of setting everything up.
I feel like you almost have to watch the setup though.
Otherwise, it's too complex.
I don't know. We'll figure it out. One's 57 minutes, the others are 42. So you shave off 15 minutes.
All right.
There's also a 2-minute and 49-second video that says, Kid Nation, where are they now?
That doesn't do you much good unless you watch the Where Are They initially.
It's only 2 minutes long. How could they cover all of
Pretty
it?
sure that's where are they now? Nowhere.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
We'll figure out an episode. But patreon.com/HomeandPodcast
Yeah.
for that and many other episodes. If you'd like to support us and don't want to pay money for episodes like Kid Nation, go to your podcasting app and leave us a review. If you write a review, we'll read it on air and give you mad props, bro.
Hell yeah.
Adam, I don't expect much, but is there anything going on Twitter?
Yeah, I actually got a question. So,
Oh, wow.
If you want to rip open the mailbag.
Let's do it.
You've got mail.
All right. This question comes from Robert Goulet. I guess it's Robert Goulet.
Robert Goulet?
Maybe it could, I don't know. It would be funny if it was him. And he wants to know. Robert wants to know. I guess it is Robert Goulet. That's weird. I listened.
You thought it through.
Robert wants to know. What are your guys' favorite things that people in Home Improvement have done since the show ended? So, like, what are some of your favorite performances by cast members post Home Improvement? Interesting question, Robert.
Interesting. Mostly because I don't feel like I've seen a lot besides Tim Allen in, like, some of the movies that we've talked about, like Christmas with the Cranks.
I'd say there's one obvious one that I think you'd probably agree with, and that's Galaxy Quest.
Yes, definitely Galaxy Quest. Voice acting as it goes, Toy Story is good.
Yeah, well, I guess which ones are post Home Improvement? Toy Story 3 and 4?
When did Toy Story 2 come out?
I don't know.
Let's find out.
All right. I would have thought like 1999.
This says... I wrote Tim's Story. So
Tim's Story? Yeah, Freudian.
That's not helpful. 1999.
Wow, look at this Disney nut over here. I mean, that can count. Other Tim Allen, Joe somebody. Sure, Joe
I
somebody.
think you've talked about how you liked Patricia Richardson on
West Wing. For
West
sure.
Wing.
Yeah, I would. She's good on West Wing. I liked Richard Karn recently on that show Pen 15. I only watched it. I didn't watch all of the episodes because it wasn't really for me per se. But like he was pretty good on that, so I would put that under the list. As far as like adjacent,
Family Feud.
I never really watched the Karn Men on that. Did you?
I have not. Maybe like a couple episodes.
So that doesn't really count. Trying to think. JTT didn't do much post Home Improvement actually. ZTB.
Well, besides Smallville.
Okay, was he good? Did you like him in that?
Played a villain, so that was an interesting role.
Interesting turn. ZTB is in that. Oh man, it was like an ESPN movie about Bear Bryant, the coach of like I don't know if it's Alabama or whatever. It was when ESPN Films was doing it, and I never watched it, but kind of looked like it might be good. So that could be in the list.
And what a list it is.
Tara Noah Smith was really good when the Coast Guard called him out on being in that submarine or whatever. That was a really good performance. No, I would say Galaxy Quest, West Wing, Pen 15. I feel like there's probably another good one that Harry, Blake.
Oh.
Blake. I want to call him Blake Schneider, but I don't think that's it. I think that's
Rob Schneider's cousin.
Blake. What's his name? Help me out, Jordan.
I'm working on it. Blake Clark.
Blake Clark. Okay, there's lots of stuff there. Like Joe Dirt, Waterboys during Home Improvement Run. Joe Dirt, I like him in that. He's actually in good stuff too, but I'm going to throw that one in the mix too. So those are a couple. Thank you, Robert, for your question. That was an interesting one. I'd never considered that before.
Wow.
So.
Yeah, we're learning a lot from our fans. So keep asking questions like that. We'd be happy to ramble through them.
Yeah, hey, right.
I wouldn't call what we do answers.
It's basically like list a bunch of things and then at the end be like, yeah, I like.
We answered it, right?
Yeah, are you satisfied? Are you not entertained? All right. Next week's got to be better than this one. What are we talking about next week?
I mean, by the episode title, I have no idea. It is called Say Goodnight, Gracie.
What? Wow. Very rarely do you hear an episode title and have no idea what it is in reference to. Let's right now speculate who's Gracie.
Say Goodnight, Gracie. It sounds like someone's gonna pass away or something.
Okay, here's my guess. Babysitting. And someone's kid's name is Gracie and they won't go to bed. Marty's kids?
Marty's
Speculative.
kids.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't have a good guess at all.
Are they putting an animal down? So, I don't want to talk
Home
about that.
Improvement dog?
All right. Well, I don't know, man. Only one way to find out, and that's tune into Home Podcast next week. Jordan, thank you for joining me. Listeners, thank you for listening. And I guess I should say, take care.
Take care, everybody.